It's got a soul, this hero farm. It falls asleep inside my arms. We work the fields under the stars. The love is here at Gold Shop Farms. Well, city life, yeah, it had its charms, but we would dream of the fields under the stars. I fall asleep inside its arms. The love is here at Gold Shop Farms. The love is here at Gold Shop Farms.
Good evening, everybody. It's really good to be back here again with you all for yet another farm meeting. I'm Morgan Gold of Goldshaw Farm. We're here at the farm in the farm office right now. I've got little barn cat over my shoulder here taking a nap. I'm hanging out here for the next while, answering questions, talking about what's going on in the farm. This is a monthly farm meeting. We do these live streams once a month, every first Wednesday of the month, usually in the evening time. And what I want to do is really just kind of fire away and answer all of your questions. And I know there's a lot of them, and I can see them coming in. If you guys do have questions, it's infinitely easier for me to see them if you put them in all caps. And so if you put them in all caps, I can usually try to flag them and answer them as we go. Don't abuse the caps privileges though, and only use it if you have like a question to ask. Yeah, please, by all means, though, let me know. Hanging out at these are, essentially, kind of times that I like to like answer the questions that I don't usually have time to cover in a regular old video, as well as getting deep on various topics and, just kind of hang out because I have just as much fun hanging out with you guys as I hope you have hanging out with me. Let me know what you got. I guess a couple of quick farm updates though to offer out to you guys as I see folks streaming in here, and there's so many folks coming in. What's going on, Sarah? How's it going, Diane? Oh wow, and Gert's Garden got the stickers. That's always good to see. Yeah, if you guys send us stickers to our PO box, which is usually listed down below, we usually try to send you some free stickers. But yeah, let's see what's going on. We've got the pigs, as you guys saw in the Monday YouTube video. We've got the pigs here on the farm. The video I put out tomorrow is a little bit of an update on things that I'm doing to take care of them and what's going on with them. Actually, the Creek Kid asks the perfect question that I wanted to get some input on tonight. So I still haven't quite named the pigs yet, and I'm still trying to come up with names for them. My theory is, and this is going to sound weird, and I know people are going to be like, wait, what? I want to name them after Sopranos characters. I don't know about you guys, but I love the show The Sopranos, and I think it would just be really funny to have pigs that are all named after various characters on The Sopranos. And so there's one pig specifically that actually she's the one that like engages with me the most that I've been calling Phil Leotardo. After the famous Phil Leotardo played by Frank Vincent on The Sopranos. And so that's like what I'm thinking about, but I'm still struggling with like who are the other ones. They're all female pigs, but I'm totally like gonna have fun with like calling them whatever. And so don't feel like you need to have, matching genders to names, but like I want some good names. And no, I don't want to do like Tony and Carmela. Like I don't want to go for the obvious names. I want like, B tier Sopranos characters. That's really what I'm looking for names. And so if you guys have suggestions tonight, shout them out and let me know. I'd love to see them, for sure. So yeah. And yes, to answer Nick Vipon's question here, yeah, we are going to eat the pigs. The pigs are here on the farm now. So they came in late April. They will be here until, I don't know, probably mid to late September, maybe early October. And then they will be gone. They will be in the freezer. Either we're going to be eating them or we're going to be giving some to some friends, and we might be doing a couple of other things with some of the meat. We won't be really selling it commercially. Because we're going to actually do on-farm processing, and that prevents us from selling it commercially. And so, yes, though, Nick, to answer your question very directly, these pigs are for meat. And so if you guys see these pigs and say, oh gosh, they're adorable, how can you eat them? It's It is the way, as the Mando would say. So yeah, and the pigs are doing good. It's been really really rainy here, Lacey. And so it's been really muddy, and so I just keep putting out fresh straw for them every day, and it keeps piling up. And so that's keeping them clean, which is another topic I actually want to talk about here tonight. But yeah, that is the plan, and probably, it's funny actually. Today, in between the raindrops, I started the process of putting in the paddock where the pigs are going to move to next, and so they're going to actually keep moving along towards the woods, and so as they do that, my plan is, and actually if you look here, so if you look to the very far left of the screen, and you see those trees on the very very far left hand side of the screen, that's where the pigs are going to go, and so they're going to kind of keep moving up that hill over the course of the summer. That's my current plan. I don't know. Things could change if things get complicated, but right now that's what I'm thinking I'm going to be doing. All right, more questions because I know I got a lot of them. RJ asks, "Does Allison grow rhubarb in her garden?" So RJ, that's a good question. So we used to actually have a whole rhubarb patch on the farm in the garden. Let's see if I can get you an overhead shot of that. There's Ginny Barn Cat. I'm just cruising through drone footage here. Sorry, guys. So where the new barn is, we actually used to have an asparagus and rhubarb patch, but unfortunately, because of the barn build, it's gotten demolished, and so we are not going to have rhubarb this year, and we're not going to have asparagus this year, which is the first time since we've been on this farm that's been the case in the spring. And so what we're going to be doing is starting fresh next year. Probably, actually, the irony is the spot where the pigs are right now, like that area where their pen is, that might get tilled up and turned into the asparagus patch of the future. So for right now, that's the plan. It's either going to be that or blueberries is what we're talking about. So that'll start to go in as soon as the pigs move on to their next spot. Okay. What other questions that we got here? Good evening, Morgan. On this damp, cool weather New England experience from Debbie. Oh, thanks, Debbie. Appreciate it. All right, let me keep up with these questions. And guys, please be patient with me too. It's just me here scrolling through the chat. The chat moves really, really quickly. We've got, over 1,000 people here between YouTube and Facebook right now, and so I'm doing my best to keep up. And so yeah. Okay, Retta asks, when is the white cow and the calf coming? I don't know. Soon, Retta. Very soon, I hope. We're still just sort of grappling through Vermont mud season. I was just talking to my buddy Tom, who has the cow and her calf right now, and we'll probably move them soon, but we're not going to do it to a point where we go try to force her in, and it's just really really muddy in our pasture as well as Tom's pasture. So I'm not really in any sort of rush to bring her over, but it will eventually happen, Retta. Don't sweat it. I know it's funny. Everybody's very focused on that white cow. She'll get here. I think if you guys can appreciate anything about our farm, one of the things is we try not to rush to get animals here. We'll get them here when it's the right time. And so just know that's a big part of how we're going to go. What's going on, Cheryl, up in Quebec, just over the border? It's funny, actually, just last weekend, Allison and I almost went up to Sherbrooke for dinner. So, I don't know, we'll probably do that soon. We particularly when it gets later, later at night and there's more daylight, I like to go do those day trips up to Quebec. And so, yeah, that'll probably be happening very soon. All right, what other questions we got here? Hey, Sarah Schneider, what's going on? Where did you get your hoodie? I need that one. I love this hoodie too. I actually just recently got it. My old hoodie was falling apart. It's kind of similar, except it didn't have this stripe pattern to it. I think this came from LL Bean. It was actually on clearance, and yeah, that's where I got it. But yes, I'm a big fan of this. How's your mental state in mud season? Well, Carly, pretty good, honestly. I mean, things are muddy, things are rainy right now for sure. A lot of the pasture is just really, really soggy and wet. But honestly, it's not bad. It's fun. I've been full-time fencing mode right now, and so I'm just going out every single day putting up various fences, whether it's fencing in the main Whoa, drone's going crazy right there. I'm having some drone problems right now. So I usually like to throw these raw footage rolls of the drone stuff going on. But yeah, every once in a while, the drone just gets all nuts. I think I might have to get a new drone soon. Um, so Raymond, we have not had goslings hatch yet, but actually just upstairs above the room I'm in right now, or I guess diagonally up from the room I'm in right now in our attic, I have an incubator going. I think, how many? I probably have about 30 goose eggs going that'll hatch next week. And then basically the plan is every week for the next few weeks, I'm going to have about 30 eggs hatching at once. And so I don't know, probably somewhere. I'm hoping for about 15 goslings a week getting produced here. And that. Oh, Judy. Yes, let me answer Judy's question here. Was I being silly about everything being computer animated? Yes. So, as an April Fool's prank last month, and it's hard to believe that we're already in May, but yes, as an April Fool's prank last month, I made a video where I pretended like everything on the farm was fake and I just did it all on a green screen. That's an April Fool's joke. Every year on April Fool's, our farm usually puts out a video that is ridiculous and says something completely not true and is meant to be funny, and it is just simply an April Fool's prank. So a couple years back, I was talking about getting livestock guardian tigers. This was back when like Tiger King was all the rage, and we're in the middle of the pandemic. And so yeah, I made a whole video about getting livestock guardian tigers. Last year, I made a video about starting to milk bears and starting a bear dairy where I would milk bears and use the bear milk to produce cheese. Not true. I'm not trying to do that. That's BS. And so yes, this year I actually took the green screen that I have right over here, which, hold on, I'm going to show you guys even. So I have this green screen. It just pulls right down. It's really fun. It's really handy. But it's only something that I use for shooting in the studio, like in my office here when I'm making videos. Everything else I do out on the farm, and yes, it's a 100% real farm. I was actually thinking about doing this live stream tonight from the barn, except it's like pouring rain, so I didn't really want to try to do that because we don't have like the roof all fully done yet. Yeah, like the plan would be that like, yes, I can show you exactly how everything's real. And no, it's not fake. That was a joke. It was an April Fool's joke, Judy. Calvin asks, how are all the barn cats doing? Well, the barn cats are doing good. Let's do the rundown. Lil Barn Cat. Hey, Lil. You say hi to everybody for me? She's a little cranky. She's like, you woke me up from your nap. So Lil Barn Cat is doing great. She just, as always, just kind of loves life here in the office. Pablo Barn Cat is doing really well. He's been hanging out inside the new barn a lot. I think of all the barn cats, Pablo Barn Cat's probably going to be the cat that takes over the new barn more than anything else. Molly Murder Mittens has been on a murderous tear. I am finding either a mouse or mole carcass every single day left in the spot that Molly always leaves rodents for me. And so she is looking to repeat on her title as Barn Cat of the Year. And Ginny Barn Cat is adorable as usual, but I will say, especially as the weather's warming up and I'm usually outside in like either like a long sleeve t-shirt or a regular t-shirt, I don't like having her on my shoulder nearly as much. You see, like when I have my big, thick brown short coat on, she can run it up and down me and I won't even flinch, and it's kind of nice, and so she's always on my shoulder. When it's like, cool, but I have like a sweatshirt on, she can do it and it's not that big a deal. But if I have a t-shirt on, it really, really hurts when she climbs up me, and so I try to discourage it in the warmer months. And so I think she's feeling a little bit rejected right now. Ooh, this is a good one from Maya here. What's my biggest plan on improving the farm? I think there's a couple things going on this year that are the big focus. I think one is improving the water infrastructure on the farm. I think 2 is continuing to do more fencing, and then 3 is building out the new barn. Like those are the 3 big projects for this year. You'll see me do lots of other little things. I'm very focused on, trying to rotate my animals more and do it more efficiently. So, for example, especially like the ducks and geese and chickens, you're going to be seeing me do some stuff even in the next couple of weeks where they're moving around a lot more. And so that's probably maybe a fourth thing I'd throw on the list. But yeah, there's a lot of big plans and a lot of activity happening on the farm right now, and we're in full swing on pretty much all of it at this point. Oh, by the way, for those of you who track this, because I know some people always ask me about this, my bougie seltzer of the night is this lavender cucumber seltzer from the folks at Ora Bora. Not sponsored. I just really like it. It's nice. I really like this Ora Bora brand because it's this combination usually of some sort of either fruit or vegetable mixed with like an herbal thing. So like lavender cucumber, or I have a watermelon peppermint downstairs. It's like amazing. Coconut lemongrass is another flavor I really like. Yeah, really, it's the bougiest of seltzer you can drink, but dang, is it good. Is it cold there? It's autumn here. So Tracy, you must be in the southern hemisphere. It's cool. Like, right now the weather is like, usually like in the 50s during the day and like in the 30s at night. But honestly, this is probably my favorite temperature weather-wise. It's like the kind of day where it's like start off in a hoodie and end up in like a long sleeve t-shirt or like a flannel or something. That to me is pretty good. Do the cats and dogs like the piglets? No, not really. The cats just stay entirely away, which is good because I would worry that one day like the pigs could eat the cats, and I don't want that. They have no interaction with the pigs whatsoever. The cats do. The dogs like are getting a little bit more used to the pigs, but they still don't love them, and like Abby especially barks at them a lot. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, but they're still getting used. Luke asks, when do the cows go out to the pasture? So pretty soon. So we are getting very close. I would say that my plan would be either next week or the following. I will probably move the cattle out to pasture. It has to do a little bit with the weather. It's still been very rainy, but that said, the grass has been growing a lot and very quickly. And so I feel from like a grass growth perspective, we're very close to being ready, but things are just still so soggy that I don't really want to put them out there. And typically once I put them out there, it's not like I'm pulling them back in. And then the other thing is I have to finish up just a little bit more of my pasture fence, which will take me probably another couple of, I don't know, I'll probably be done with the upper pasture fence. And when I say upper pasture fence, I mean, like if you look past where the trees are and where it gets flat up on the top of the screen here in this drone shot, like that whole green area is getting fenced in right now. I actually have all the posts officially in. I just have to string wire and hang some gates. And so I would expect that to be done, work that's complete by next week. And once that happens, I will probably turn the cows loose. The plan is going to be that my heifers are going to go up to the top, or my heifers are going to hang back in the lower pasture. My cows are going to go up top. And by Father's Day, I'll put Macho Man in with all of those guys, with the gals, and hopefully they will start making some babies. All right. I love when people say that, Uncle Dick. Long time listener, first time caller. So growing up as a kid, I used to obsessively listen to talk radio, which is a totally weird thing for a kid to do. But yeah, WTIC AM 1080 in Hartford was probably the main talk radio station I listened to growing up. And yeah, I always love when people would say that. And so yes, I appreciate your comment there. North 44, good to see you guys. Yeah, I wouldn't say we flooded. It's like it's very wet, it's very muddy, it's very damp. It's so that's what we got from a condition standpoint. But we haven't had any serious like flooding issues or risks. We're not really prone to it either, based on sort of the layout of our farm either. So I think we're lucky in that regard. So Victoria, probably they will stick around until, I don't know. I haven't set all the butcher dates yet, but like late September, early October would be my expectation. So yeah. What's going on, Brenda in Virginia? And Wendy's in Australia. Okay, that's where it is. All right. Stardew Valley life. Yeah. Oh. I want to share a couple things with you guys. Hang on a second. I'm gonna have to pull this up and make it available. But yes, I have a couple of things to share. So number one, I'm going to drop a link into the chat. If you click on this link, you will be able to sign up for our mailing list. And if you sign up for our mailing list, you will actually be able to access information about the new Toby Dog book. And speaking of the new Toby Dog book, I actually wanted to share with you guys some drawings. And so I'm jumping ahead here. So if you ask questions that I missed it, don't be afraid to ask again. Hold on a sec. Sorry. I'm getting so distracted by questions. Let me do this. All right. So I've got an artist. She is working on the drawings for the Toby Dog book right now. And I'm also getting ready to record the audio version of the Toby Dog book. I'm going to be doing the recording myself. There's like a whole bunch of, I'm not doing the recording part, but I'm doing the narration myself is what I should say. And I'm doing a whole bunch of voices for everybody. And the work though that the artist is doing is looking awesome. Like, here's some sketches. These are just rough sketches. This is not the finished product, but she was just doing some rough sketches in terms of like images from the book and stuff that actually ends up happening in the book. And I am super, super excited about this. And yeah, like it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. Here's puppy Toby Dog contending with the barn cats. Puppy Toby Dog facing off with the coyote. Toby Dog hanging out and meeting the ducks. Puppy Toby Dog. I don't even want to spoil this one and give away the scene, but it's going to be really, really cool. I'm super excited about the book. And so that's maybe the other big thing I've been working on lately too, is getting a lot of that stuff ready. The timing is going to be, the book is going to be, finally released in September, but the pre-sale probably starts in July. And so again, if you guys want to get in on this and find out the latest and greatest in the book, some pre-order, some special features that are going to be available, be sure to sign up for the mailing list and go from there. All right, let me turn this back over to you guys though and answer more questions. Okay, here's a good one from Demetrius. What keeps you motivated to keep adding different animals to the farm? When will you be done? You know, Demetrius, I think it's a really good question. I think what keeps me motivated is wanting to continue to build and grow the farm in a way that's very sustainable. That keeps me both adding new things and trying to balance things out, but also keeps me from going crazy and like adding everything all at once, because I don't feel like I'd be very good at doing it all at once. And I got to kind of like slowly step into it piece by piece. And so, yeah, that, I guess that would be one answer to your question. And then I think the other thing is I'm actually kind of working on a long-term vision. You know, all right, I'm just going to talk about it, even though this is not like a formalized plan. This is not what I'm definitely doing. I think where the farm is going to go is continuing to raise geese for meat, continuing to raise cattle for beef, potentially adding dairy cattle for creating a new product in the form of butter, and then probably continuing to add pigs as a way to use the excess milk. That's sort of like the rough idea I have in my head right now. And that's just, you know, again, all in the name of creating a farm that is sustainable, both financially, environmentally, and emotionally for me, the farmer. And so that's kind of where I'm at. When are you working on the spring in the woods? Charlie, that's probably going to be something that I start to tackle in mid-May, early June. And the reason I'm not rushing to do it right now is the big focus right now is on fencing. And so fencing for the cattle up on the top of the pasture, fencing for actually the ducks and geese and some things that I've been doing inside the lower pasture. And then and just today I was doing this, expanding out the pig yard so that the pigs have like more spots to keep moving. Those are the big priorities. Once I get through those, I'll turn my attention to the spring. You know, that one isn't really time sensitive. You know, I've got from now until probably like October to get that project done. And so it's not like I'm not like rushing to do it. If you get kind of where I'm going with that. It's obvious that Alfred's the one behind that. Yeah. Will you use the forest to raise cows on after the pigs are there? So Jerry, to a certain extent, yes, I will be expanding out certain portions of the pasture, and kind of once the pigs have run through, I'll be reseeding it with grass. And as that pasture expands out, that will ultimately become grazing space for the cattle. Okay, wow. Liza's got a whole bunch of questions from the Philippines here. Let me try to hit them. How's Toby's health? Toby's health is actually pretty good. He, continues to have very low Lyme levels, so he's had like a full recovery from the Lyme disease. Other than that, he's doing really good. Yeah, Toby's been very good. He actually just went to the groomer this week. He's looking beautiful now. I don't know if you guys just saw the short that I posted. Abby also just went to the groomer. She actually just went this afternoon, and so both dogs are at their most brilliant whitest right now. So yeah. All right, let me keep answering your questions. Is Abby a better farm dog now, learning from Toby? I'm going to make a video on this. Abby is much, much better than where she was, say, last year at this time. She's still learning. I'm still working on some things for like kind of where her long-term job is going to be on the farm. She will have a job here on the farm, so please don't get that twisted. But like, will it be exactly the same as Toby dogs? I don't think it will, and so I don't want to get too much into it right now. But yes, I'm continuing to work on that. And so she's improving still. How are the barn cats? Like I said earlier, they're doing great. We've got 4 of them, 3 outdoor barn cats and 1 retired indoor barn cat in the form of our girl, Lil Barn Cat back here. And so, yeah. And thank you. I like this office now, too. All right. More questions. Tom Travis asks, did I see the Mario movie yet? No, I still haven't seen the Mario. I probably will see it if it shows up like on streaming somewhere. I don't know. It doesn't look good. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm not excited to see it because it doesn't look very good to me. It's just my opinion, but yeah. All right. What other questions? Let's keep going. I am having so much fun. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of goslings this year, Charlie. That is definitely the plan. Yeah, so Kara, we are not going to be breeding Toby and Abby together. So Abby actually was spayed, and so yeah, she will not be bred with Toby. And so yeah, full stop. Toby's still intact, so he might be a father someday, but yeah, nothing anytime soon. Do you have an opinion on Steve Ranella? I know he mentioned you on a podcast. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, so last year, Steve Ranella, the meat eater guy, talked about our farm and some of the incidents that we had with the bearhound hunters. Look, I will actually say I've always traditionally enjoyed, like, particularly his books, like Steve Ranella's books, like American Buffalo is, I think, an outstanding book. Yeah, I've always enjoyed his stuff. I was actually really bummed out when he like was kind of crapping all over me, and I don't feel like he gave me a very fair shake in it all. After that happened, I actually made a video talking about it and really breaking things down point by point. And Smoke Steve, you could probably find it somewhere on here, on YouTube. Just search Goldshaw Farm and Meat Eater, and that video will pop up. Really kind of breaking down my response to it. I ended up talking to his producer about coming out there, and they offered me a chance to come, and I was like, yes. And then they actually rescinded the invitation because they were like, we're just not that interested anymore. And so, yeah, no, I've never had a chance to have a follow-up conversation, but I would like to. I would be totally open to it, for sure. Okay, let's keep answering. Hey, by the way, shout out. I'm just looking to see what moderators we have out here tonight. I see Danny from Wicked Awesome Gardening. Shout out. Thank you, guys. And like Danny saying, I'm always several minutes behind in the chat. If I'm not answering your questions, I haven't probably gotten to it yet. I'm not trying to ignore you. I'm just doing my best to try to keep up. Honest to goodness. Are you worried about your pigs escaping and breeding with wild boars? Wild boars are a huge problem in Texas. Yeah, but wild boars are not a big problem here in Vermont. And so I'm not significantly concerned about the pigs escaping. I mean, I know some folks who saw the video where they're like getting shocked by the fence and they're in a relatively small pen. A lot of people were like, like, oh no, that's too small an area and you shouldn't do that. And they felt bad that the pigs were getting shocked. That's literally part of the training for the pigs. And so the idea is for about 2 weeks, I'm keeping them inside that small pen. It's actually not that small. It's, more than 250 square feet for 3 very small pigs. And what's going to happen is basically it probably this weekend I'll actually expand it out and let them start going into the woods where there'll be electric fencing keeping them in. And so my expectation is that they actually won't get out of that. I've seen a lot of people do this method of pig keeping, and so knock on wood, I don't have any issues that way. We don't have wild pig populations here. Like, I've never seen that. There's a farmer, I don't know, maybe about an hour away from our farm who raises pigs, and he had some issues with his pigs getting out and going wild. But it's hard for feral pig populations to exist here in Vermont because their food supply disappears come, like November. Because we have such a harsh, cold winter, it's not a good climate for pigs to just free range. And so whereas in Texas, a pig can live year round out in the wild and, forage and figure out how to get a meal, they just wouldn't last here in Vermont. And so, yeah, maybe they could run feral for a summer, but come, by the time it's like, November, December, they're going to be starving. And so they wouldn't make it. Yes, Thomas, we are keeping the old barn while we are building the new barn, and we continue to make a ton of progress with the build on the new barn. We are also going to be continuing to keep the old barn up and just, really be in maintenance phase with that and just kind of keeping it going. Yeah. No plans to tear down or do anything significant. It's really just maintain that old barn. What are your thoughts on lab-grown meat? Well, Demetrius, another great question, and I feel like I gotta pour myself a cup of tea here. I don't know. Is that some ASMR for you guys? So, I don't know. I don't think it's great. I'm not 100% opposed to it either. I think I would need to understand it more. I would need to understand the cost of the inputs going into it to say, do I think it's good or not? I would probably try it just out of curiosity. And so, I would say that I wouldn't be completely opposed to it, but I wouldn't rush to it. And I'm a little skeptical. I think, we might be better off with actually the real thing, and, maybe limiting your meat consumption as maybe the more way to think about it versus like, I don't know. I actually think you need animals and animal agriculture to balance certain things out with various ecosystems in our area. Oh, Erica, outstanding question. I don't think so. I mean, she's a little bit like she like, just even today I was doing fencing for the pigs. And so I was like at a different part of the farm, and I just kind of let her be with the birds unsupervised, and she did fine. I mean, if there was a problem, I would have been able to hear it and quickly get over there and stop anything bad happening. But would I want her all day with me, like, say, not on farm? No. And that's why when I say, hey, I'm going to be working on some long-term plans with Abby, that's what it comes down to. I just don't have the trust and confidence in her not to get herself into trouble. And so I want to put her in situations where she succeeds. And so that means not leaving her fully unsupervised yet. And just got to give her some more time and keep working with her. She's made so many improvements, though. I mean, it's pretty remarkable. It's actually funny. With the ducks, I would actually say she's 100%. With the geese, she's like 95%. She has a tendency to not shy away from conflict. So, like, the geese will usually start it, and then she'll sort of, like, stand there or like kind of almost take it. And I worry that that would turn bad at some point if I wasn't around to break it up. Her biggest weakness is the chicken. She just can't help herself in wanting to play with chickens. It's unfortunate. Will the pigs be okay, safe where they are at night? Yeah, they should be. I think for a couple of reasons. One, while they're not inside the same fence as the dogs, they're very, very close. And so I think the dogs will actually keep most of those animals away. But then also, two, when it comes down to like the types of animals that will attack a pig, yeah, it's mostly a coyote or a bear, like probably the two biggest things I have to worry about. And as the pigs get bigger, they're going to get further from the farm, and then they're going to be not at risk from a coyote, because coyotes are not going to want to tangle with a 100-pound pig. And then bears are just going to be very infrequent, and plus we have the electric fencing, which will be a real deterrent for the bears. So yeah, there you go. All right. Robin asks, what are the most important animals you'd suggest for someone starting a farm for the first time? Well, Robin, if you've never had experience with animals and raising livestock, I would strongly suggest poultry. I think either ducks, geese, or chickens, like pick any one of those. Don't do all of them at once, but pick either ducks or geese or chickens and just get started with that one and just do 1 year where that's all you have. It will teach you just a little bit about keeping animals, and then from there you can kind of find different ways to grow, whether you want to add more in different types of poultry, or you want to maybe experiment with things like sheep or goats or cattle or pigs, but like just do one thing at a time, number one, and start with either ducks, geese, or chickens, like one of those three. I mean, and there's some people who would actually argue pigs. I'm not one of them. I think if you've never had any experience, you're still better off with ducks, geese, or chickens. With each of those three, though, again, don't do them at the same time. And the other thing I would suggest is, like, it depends on what you want to focus in on and what you're attracted to more. If you think geese are cool because they're grazers and you have a ton of grass, don't be afraid to start with geese. I actually think there's nothing wrong with that, even though very few people actually do. I think they're actually easier to keep than ducks, for sure. Chickens are probably the easiest of those three animals to keep, for sure. But then they have their own problems. They have a little bit more health issues than ducks or geese do, or at least adult ducks and geese do. And so there is a little bit of that issue to contend with. But honestly, pick one of those three. That would be my advice to you. Oh, you live in or you used to live in Queechee. Yeah, no, I mean, I know Queechee. Yeah, we're probably about a little over an hour from Queechee. Straight shot up 91, but yeah, it's about an hour or so away. Okay, let's see. Hi, what video editing program do you use? A big hug from Norway. Well, Emmy, Adobe Premiere is the program that we edit all of our videos on. And so that's the main program. It's, if you're just starting out, it's a little complicated to use, but I think once you learn how to use it, it's the most powerful video editing tool you can use. So I'm a big fan of it. I've been using Adobe Premiere for more than 20 years, which is insane. I would say it's probably been about 25 years because I remember using it when I was in high school. Like, I don't even know. When did Adobe Premiere first start? I don't even know. Golly. I'm going to look this up because, you've got me on this kick. When did Adobe Premiere first start? I don't know if anybody's going to care about this except for me. Oh, it was first launched in 1991. I feel like I first started using it in 1996, so that tracks. That makes a lot of sense. 1991, holy crud. Yeah, so 30 years of Premiere, 30 plus years of Premiere. That's crazy. Okay. If geese or ducks have the same parents, can they mate and have more ducklings? I would not. I mean, they can physically. I would advise against it. And the reason being, you just have a much greater risk of genetic health defects that can come from a lot of that sort of thing. And so I would be careful with that. I think you're better off, bringing in, and this is what we typically do. We'll cycle through males, and like we will let them breed for a generation or two, and then those males will go to the freezer, and we bring in males from other places. And one, it's usually really easy to get a male, particularly duck or rooster. And once you have that male, like you can have them on for a year, and then off to freezer camp they go, and it works great. Like we have, it keeps your gene pool a little bit better. So I would advise against trying to do like line breeding or something. Hey Rose, good to see you. All right, so we got Rose, we got Tammy Gillette, and we got uh, Danny from Wicked Awesome Gardening here, who are mods. Show them some love. Like this would not be possible without them. Ronald asks, what sort of wine do I like? I'm actually much more of a beer drinker than a wine drinker. Like I love like a wide variety of beers. I do not. I mean, like occasionally a good red wine. I'm good for, but like I'm not a huge wine drinker. The future is AI, not pigs. Get over yourself. I mean, I don't know how to react to that one. Someday I think I could see getting sheep, but I'm not going to rush into it. It's definitely not a priority for me right now. What I really want to do is learn how to raise pigs. Like that's the goal for this year. And then if I was going to really say what thing, and I know Allison's going to kill me if she hears this, but like, maybe experimenting with some dairy, would be where we go. So Junior, I won't be expanding the fence line to keep the pigs in, but I'll be using actually the electric fencing. It's funny with pigs, you have to like build Fort Knox to keep pigs in place without electricity. But if you have electricity, they're actually relatively easy to keep in place, particularly if they're trained to that electricity. That's what everybody has told me, as well as what I've been seeing with my own experience so far. And so they will be fenced in with electric polywire, not hard physical fence. Just only because it's actually more effective with pigs. I would expect my pigs to get to be about between like 250 and 300 pounds is what I'm shooting for. And yeah, the idea is I actually will be finishing them off on acorns in like the fall. And so they're basically, right now my plan is they're going to go kind of like up along the tree line like that you see in this drone shot right here on the far left-hand side of the screen. And then once they get up almost to the top, I'm going to loop them back down and bring them to the front of the house where we have a bunch of oak trees and let them feast on the acorns. That is the current plan. Our pigs are Duroc breed. Oh, this is a good one from Carla. So the plan with actually getting water for the garden, I'm actually going to be putting gutters on the barn, the new barn that you guys see right here in this shot, particularly on the what I'll call the west side of the barn, which is like the one furthest away from us. Like so, it's like going back in this shot that you see on the screen. And that actually runs really close to the garden. And so the idea will be this rain catchment will catch the water into, I actually just bought a big 255 gallon IBC tote. It'll go into there and then we'll be able to pump it right into the garden. So the garden will be watered from the water coming off the barn. And so, yeah, that is definitely something that we will be doing in the very near future. Thankfully, we have never been hit by the bird flu. And so I hope that remains the case. But yes, we have not had that issue so far. Baba Booey. Baba Booey. Baba Booey, that's Tatatuthi. Oh, this is a good one from Linda here. What's the origin of our logo? So if you guys know the Goldshaw Farm logo, which do I have one around here anywhere? Hold on. I'm getting the logo for people who don't know what it is. Ah, there it is. So the Goldshaw Farm logo, if you guys can see it here, it is a bear with a bird sitting on top of its head. The logo is actually something I drew myself, and and basically what happens with it is we have uh, actually the bear representing me and the bird representing Allison. And you always hear about these larger animals that have these smaller animals that they're kind of like the symbiotic relationship where like the bird will pluck like lice and ticks off of the bear and get a meal, and like everybody lives very happily. That's very much a metaphor for the relationship between my wife and me. It's also very much about how we see farming as ecosystem management and multiple species of animal working together. And that's like very much the philosophy of our farm. And so when I was trying to come up with a logo for the farm, bringing those things together was part of what I wanted to communicate. And so that is how we ended up with this logo. So yeah, great question, Linda. Oh, okay. So Meadow, yes, some folks, really nice folks, actually won it. They did not spend $10 million to win it, though. It was, I think, the final price was it ended up going for $2,000, and I know my friend Aaron's working on setting up the time for when the visit's going to happen, and yeah, it should happen pretty soon. Usually, the best time to visit the farm is actually in about a month from, or about 2 weeks from now, when we have all the baby birds on the farm. That's usually when it's gonna happen. We're probably not going to do a ton of ducklings for sale this year, Harrison. It's like every other year we either have a duck year or a chicken year. Last year was a big duck year where we hatched out a lot of ducks, and so we sold a lot of ducks. This year we are hatching out a lot of chickens, and so we'll have a lot of chickens just because I do that to renew my laying flocks, basically. And then I will probably have a handful of ducklings for sale though that hatch out naturally. So if you're looking for them, shoot me an email through the website, goldshawfarm.com, and you can hook you up. Is the sugar maple boiling? Yeah, no, sugaring is done for the season. So yeah, we've been wrapped up. I pulled everything down about 3 weeks ago, and yeah, we are out of the sugaring business right now. We'll be back in the next year. I will probably try to milk Ariel the cow again after she gives birth because she did such a good job with it last time. So the answer is probably yes. Ooh, this is a good one, Aaron. I don't think so, and let me explain why. Because I feel like a lot of where I've got most of my chores right now are in a very, very manageable place, and so things like bird chores right now are super quick and super easy. And pig chores are not too bad. Cattle chores so far have not been too bad. I think as I talk about this idea of as I talk about this idea of like adding something like a dairy cow, that's maybe where I'm at risk of doing it. That's why you see me like hesitant. Like that's what my heart would say, but I'm not sure if I'm totally there. Are you selling any duck eggs? Yes, we are selling duck eggs. If you're local here, we can sell you duck eggs, or you can get them at the Peacham Cafe. Um, yeah. Hey, wait a minute now. No, you know what? I did answer a question about Steve Ranella. I actually talked directly about that. Like, go back, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes ago. I spoke very, very directly to that. I don't think that's fair there, Smoke Steve. Uh, we might. Actually, if you guys have chicken eggs you want to send me, shoot me a note. I would totally take some as an experiment later this summer. I'll probably start hatching chickens once I get done with the geese, which will be like, so in like June, I'll start chicken hatching. But yeah, shoot me a note, guys. I'd be curious to hear what you have in mind. Um, Do I still have problems with the predators? Or the dog keep? Honestly, we don't really have predator problems, and I'm going to keep knocking on wood on that. And it's definitely thanks to the dogs. No doubt about it. Joey Ramon's doing good. I mean, he and Macho Man are like the best of friends right now. I've been taking Macho Man on walks, and he just loves walking around and eating the grass. Joey does not let me put the harness or the halter on him, and so I have not been walking him around. But Randy gets walked around all the time. Like once a day, I'll take him on a walk. All right, I'm so behind on the chat. I'm just realizing I'm like, it's like 8:23 that I'm answering questions from, and it's like I don't know 8:50 or so. So Derek, yeah, my expectation is yes, because it's not like the pigs are going deep into the woods, and maybe I need to do a better job of communicating and conveying that. Um, where they are is they're like on the edge of the woods, like on the edge of the fence, and so they're like for example where they are right now, they're like I don't know 40 feet from Toby Dog, and so I'm not entirely concerned about like predators coming in on that. Yeah, like I'm not too worried. After you collect the eggs, how long do you wait to incubate? So I try not to wait too long. Last year and like previous years, particularly with geese, I would like wait 10 days and try to get as many eggs as possible into each hatch batch. What I do now is I do it on a weekly basis and just go with whatever I got. And the idea, so I'm trying to do this year as a way to boost my hatching rates. And so I don't know how that's going to go. But I'm hoping things get better. I'm shooting for 50% this year. All right. I've answered a lot of these questions because I'm so far behind. No, not really. I feel like I've seen like one, maybe two rats the entire 5 years I've been here, 6 years I've been here. And so, yeah, no, we don't really have a big rat problem. Yeah, crab's not bad. I'm, generally a fan of seafood overall. Do you get bored of the chores on the farm or does it stay interesting? Christy, number one, I really enjoy the routine and so it's relaxing. I mean, sometimes there are certain parts of chores that are repetitive that I don't like. But overall, I don't know. I don't really get bored of it. I enjoy doing it that way. All of our pigs, Terry, are female. Yes, Linda, I have ADHD, as evidenced probably by me trying to answer these questions on this live stream or any other live stream or the layout of our farm or a lot of things. But yes, I do have ADHD. I've had it for many years. I've tried managing it without medication, with medication. I'm currently on medication for it. It can make things challenging at times, but I also find it, and it's funny actually. Casey Neistat just put out a video that echoed this thought. Sometimes it's like my superpower too, because I feel like a lot of my creativity and inventiveness and energy and passion for things is also rooted in having kind of that different type of brain that comes with having an ADHD brain, and so I don't look at it as a handicap. It's something that I need to work with. It's got its strengths and weaknesses that come to it. Bruce is doing great. He's like our lead gander now. He's like our, kind of top of the food chain gander at this point. And so yes, Bruce the Goose is doing really good. Is your barn a historic building? Yes, it is. Well, I shouldn't say. Let me be very careful with how I answer this. So it is historic in that it's old and it was built before 1900, and so yes, it's historic in that, right? It's not like on the registry of historic places or anything like that. So I don't know if that answers your question, Grace. This Tom Blankenship guy needs to go. Bye-bye. Like I said, I've got Phil Leotardo, and I want to see more names in the comments here. Phil Leotardo. I don't know. Little Carmine might be one of them. I like the idea of Little Carmine. Tony Blondetto could be kind of funny. So like that animal Blondetto with Phil Leotardo as one. I don't know. You guys give me some suggestions. I'm totally up. Like I want like B tier Sopranos characters. Don't give me Tony or Carmela or Dr. Melfi. I don't know. Dr. Melfi might actually be a funny name for a pig. but yeah, give me Soprano character names. That's the theme. I think the barn will be done by June. I mean, they're getting really close. They were putting in windows today. Staircase has to come up. Doors have to go up. I'm still trying to actually nail down some things related to electrician, but overall, I would say that the main like carpentry portion of the barn build will be done by June 1st. It's very much on track. They're doing a phenomenal job. I'm so impressed with what these guys have been doing. All right. Do you ever still have to mow with all the livestock and birds? So Carla, certain portions, yeah, like around the house where I'm not like fenced all that well to have animals there, or it's really hard to move animals there. I will, we still mow. Yes, exactly as Nancy's saying. Soprano character names. We will not be breeding these pigs, and I don't even know if I ever want to breed pigs. I mean, one of the things I'm finding is I don't mind raising them. I'm not sure I love them enough to want to breed them, and I've heard horror stories about breeding pigs, so I'm not rushing into that one. Jimi Hendrix update. Oh, you want a Jimi Hendrix update, Rachel? Well, Jimmy's doing really well. He's got a herd of his own. He's actually already out there with the ladies. At another farm here in Peacham, Vermont. So like kind of on the other side of town. So we're on the south side, the farm that he's on the north side. I actually was going to go over there and visit last weekend, but got sidetracked with some things around my farm. I'll probably go over there in the not too distant future. When I do, I'll probably get some video and I'll share it with you guys for sure. But Jimmy's doing really well. All right, more questions. Yes, geese. Geese are. It's a wonderful meat. Honestly, it's probably my favorite form of poultry to eat. I'm a big fan of the goose. All right, I'm gonna keep trying to answer questions here. I know I'm falling behind. Allison's doing good. Allison's actually working tonight at the hospital, so she's working in the emergency room. She'll probably get home in I don't know about an hour or so. Probably by the time I get off of the live stream, she'll probably be here. And yeah, no, she's doing really good. She's excited about gardening season. And yeah. All right. Can you please make videos without the pigs in them from time to time so I can still watch your channel as pigs go against my faith? Oh, that's an interesting one. Yeah, I hear you, Six. And so yes, there will be videos that probably don't really focus in on the pigs much. It's a little tough though, like particularly on videos that are like just me doing my chores, where it's like that's one of my chores now. I'm curious, like, so for folks who are of a religion like Judaism, Islam, like where you're forbidden from eating pork. You don't watch videos because they have pork. Like I'm this is genuine curiosity more than like trying to challenge it or anything. Like, so it's like, it's not just you can't eat it, you can't watch it. I would love to understand that more. So please, if you're around, Six, elaborate. But yes, I'm very curious about your thoughts. All right, I'm keeping. So two of our beehives made it, or I'm sorry, two of our beehives did not make it through the winter. One of them did. So we will be replacing the other one, and yeah, stay tuned on that. I'll probably make a V video soon once I get the new hive coming, which should be very soon. No fish for the pond, but in tomorrow's YouTube video that's getting posted, Mike, I'll be talking about some other animal that's currently living in the pond, and it's actually really really cool. I'm super excited about it, so stay tuned for that. All right, Taylor. I thought Allison was gonna hate the pigs. I was like, oh, she's not gonna like these things. She's gonna be like, oh, why do we have them? The pigs are now Allison's second favorite animal on the farm. Like it goes barn cats, pigs. Like those that's Allison's hierarchy of animals. She loves going out and feeding the pigs every morning. She loves them so much. She's super, super happy with the pigs. I did not expect it. I was expecting her to hate the pigs and be like totally against it, but no, Allison loves the pigs. And yes, Velcro, the pigs have actually figured out the fence. I would say like once or twice a day I hear a squeal where they're like getting zapped by it because I think they like just can't help themselves but keep testing it. But overall the pigs have adapted to the fence, and it was really that like first hour it sucked because they were just constantly zapping themselves. But once they figured out, oh, this fence will zap me, they've been a lot better. You know, Sam, I do think about getting turkeys, and maybe one day I will. You know, the challenge is this: you don't want to brood your turkeys with your chickens, ducks, or geese. And so it becomes another brooding setup that happens at the same time of year that I'm very focused on doing geese. And it's a distraction. And so, yeah, maybe one day I'll do turkeys, but lots of people, particularly in this area, do turkeys. Not a lot of people do geese. And so that's why I lean on geese. It's a skill that I have that not a lot of people have in terms of, you know, being able to raise up large numbers of geese. And so I sometimes think you're better off filling a niche than trying to do the thing that everybody else is doing. And that's very much where I go. And yes, please listen to Danny. I am very behind on the chat. Like Danny even posted this 15 minutes ago, and I'm just catching up. So I'm doing my best here, guys. I really, really am. All right, what else do we got here? Yeah, you know, some of my friends here in Peacham do watch our videos and comment. Sometimes people are just mind boggled at how people like all over the world are watching our videos. Like it's actually kind of a fun conversation that happens on the regular. And yes, as Danny just pasted here in the chat, if you click on this link, you can sign up for our mailing list for the Toby Dog book, and you'll get all the updates. Oh man, why are there? You know, this is the one downside of opening these chats up to Facebook is there's so many spammers. Block this user. Yes. So, Jadriel, Jadre. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. I feel like I've gotten so much better with working with Randy. Yeah, like I said earlier, I take him on daily walks. He's a little harder to move right now because he gets so excited about the fresh green grass, but I still have to kind of show him who's boss, and he's respecting it. And yeah, I just keep working with him every single day. So you know, Bethany and Peter, when I'm figuring out like which geese stay and which geese go year over year, I'm looking at a couple of criteria. With the ladies, it's egg laying and it's egg laying is probably the biggest thing. I'm looking for ladies who are laying a lot of eggs, or at least that I can tie to a lot of eggs. And then I'm also looking for you know, size and just, you know, animals that seem to be really healthy and thriving in our system. And so I'm not looking for breed standards. I'm not trying to conform to breeds. I'm actually trying with my pool of genetics right now to like get to a Goldshaw farm line of goose. And so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Yeah. Well, later this summer, not actually not this summer, I shouldn't say that. Later this year, we are going to Scotland. I'm excited about that. So yeah. I don't expect to sell any pork products this year, Alex. Honestly, I think probably one pig will probably just go to our personal freezer. We'll probably give another pig, split it up amongst some friends, and then a third one. I don't know. I might do something special with it, but stay tuned. So yeah. Well, but so here's the thing. So number one, I despise goats. So I genuinely have no interest in raising goats. And yeah, like just like Danny says, I'm anti-goat. So number one, I don't think it's likely because of that. But number two, part of why I actually see pigs as a good animal to have on the farm is they can be the ones to eat the skim milk from the cows. And so if I was going to do this, and this is a massive if, I would want to have it be where it's like I'm milking the cows. The main product we're producing with the cow's milk is butter. The waste product that comes from that milk then ends up being pig feed, and so I'm essentially producing butter and pork from grass. That's the thought I have in my head, and that's a big if, but maybe someday. Three Stooges, yeah, that's a good one. I'm looking for that. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing them in the chat, but are there any Sopranos name? You guys aren't the Sopranos fans that I am. I'm feeling like. Little Polly. Oh, wow. We're dumb. You just nailed it. I love it. I love that. Yeah, Little Polly and Germani. Yeah, Phil Leotardo, Little Polly. Okay, and we need a third one. But you understood the assignment. We're dumb. You understood the assignment. Nice job. Okay, actually, I'm Muslim and pigs don't bother me. Yeah, see, and I know this is sort of for each person, it's a little different. And so I want to be tolerant, but I get it. Yeah, like yeah, I did not know that was a thing. I genuinely did it. Think of it. Okay, so they're gross to you and kind of yeah. See, and I get that. I get it. And I don't mean to seem intolerant by having pigs on. It's just I honestly didn't know. I mean, yeah, I knew like my father-in-law, for example, he's Muslim and like he doesn't eat pork, and so I wouldn't try to serve him pork, but I also wouldn't think like he'd shy away from like seeing a video of the pigs. Oh, Thomas is saying plug the Discord. Yes, I will plug the Discord. Hold on. Let me get a link to plug the Discord. Um, Hold on. Hold on. How do I invite people? I'm so bad at Discord, you guys. Just for the record. If it wasn't for, Smoggy and Morpheus, I'd feel so bad about all of this. How do I share the Discord? Update ready inbox. Oh man, I'm sorry guys, I can't plug the Discord right now. I have never seen a turtle on the farm. Honestly, I haven't. I haven't seen one. I've never seen a turtle on our farm, unfortunately. Yes, we are still raising. Actually, I believe tonight's live stream is a continues to be a fundraiser for Vermont Food Bank. In case folks are wondering. So, oh, Todd Artie Bucco as the name for the pigs. Todd, I think you got it. So we got Little Polly, Artie Bucco, and Phil Leotardo. I love it. Those are the names. Done. We're locking it in. You got it. You got it. Well done, Todd. Well done. Oh, this is a good question from Liz Anderson here. So, part of it is it's like, how do you get systems in place? And so I'm trying to grow the farm in a way where it's profitable and I'm able to still kind of manage it mostly myself. I think there's going to be a point where I have to hire somebody, but I'm trying to hold off on that for now. Um, but I think you're right that it like ultimately I will bump up into something like that, but I don't think I'm there yet. I still got capacity, I think. You, Danny, you didn't miss it. I think it's on Facebook. I have like, it's the dual live streams going. I punted somebody who like was like asking for personal details from somebody else. Yeah, Ray. I mean, I would say actually by the time by the time we're having our next farm meeting, I would actually expect my cattle to be up on the upper expanded fenced in area. And then if you look at the screen right here, I might be doing some fencing work if I have the time over the summer on the left-hand side of the screen. And so that pasture that's sort of growing in, that will maybe get to be the next spot. I know. Poor Morgan Goose from Urban Rescue Ranch. I don't know if you guys know this, but Morgan Goose actually came from our farm. I sent Ben some eggs and he hatched them out. It was pretty awesome, actually. I will be building a smokehouse, Lisa. Actually, I'm not sure if it's going to happen yet, but I will be. We're going to be actually putting in a new patio over by the house, and that'll be the long-term home of the maple sap evaporator as well as like a barbecue. And I might try to get a smokehouse in or like a little smoke shed together. Stay tuned. Jimmy Galtieri. Who's Jimmy Galtieri? I mean, that's not a B character. That's like, like little Paulie Germani, like that's, Paulie's nephew. Like, yeah, see, Bacala feels like that's like almost a little too on the nose. Adriana, that's, not bad. And yeah, especially because she'll be knocked off. That's a good point. That's a good point. I don't know. I'm really liking Artie Bucco, and I don't know if I'm 100% on Little Polly. Phil Leotardo and Artie Bucco are locks. They're like locked in. I don't know. We got to figure out the third one. Uncle Junior, yeah, I actually have been thinking about that too. Like Uncle June, I think would be good. It's just I don't know. That might feel like a little too much on the nose. We'll see. Yes, May the 4th Texas roast tomorrow. Yeah, watch your Star Wars or Mandalorian probably. That's what I'll watch. Yes, I would be making buttermilk as a side product as well. So yes, you have, if you're making butter from your cow's milk, right? You have, first off, you're pulling out the cream, and that waste product left over is that skim milk that you're feeding. Then you also, as a side from when you're actually making the butter itself, you will have buttermilk left over. So yeah, that is true. All right. I think I'm starting to hit the point where I'm losing my voice, so we're going down to 3 more questions, and I'm gonna keep going here. Sammy the wait. Sammy the Bull. George, have you even seen The Sopranos? Jimmy Hoffa, come on, guys, they're not in The Sopranos. Yes, I do collect chickens from I do collect eggs from the weird chickens. They're much smaller. I actually am going to be moving the weird chickens back to their old house pretty soon for the summer. And we might be getting some new weird chickens. Stay tuned on that one, for sure. Oh, you've never seen The Sopranos? Okay, Meadow. That's actually a funny name to not have seen The Sopranos on. Yeah. Will you ever graze the cows and pigs together? No, not really. I don't have any intention to, for a couple reasons. One, because the pigs will turn anything that they're in into like a moonscape, and I don't want them doing that to my good pasture, which is where the cattle will be. And then two, the type of fencing you need to keep your cattle in place is different than the type of fencing you need your pigs in place. So there's no like efficiency that's gained by doing them both together. And so yeah. So before I take the last question, I did want to actually mention one other thing that I already mentioned earlier, but I'm gonna come back to. So as you guys know, for like the last year plus, I've been working on a book about Toby Dog and his time as a puppy here on the farm, and you can actually see some of the sketches for this book. It's going to be like it's a novel. It's written for like a 12-year-old kid, and basically you're seeing some of the early sketches for it. If you guys would like to get on the mailing list and get all the updates on the book and what's coming, I'm going to drop a link here in the chat. Boom. Boom. Sign up for that, and all the latest news will be coming via that link that you see right here. And yes, thank you, Danny. And by the way, thank you to all of our mods, particularly Danny, as well as Tammy Gillette, and I think I saw Rose in here earlier. Thank you guys. Richie April would be a good Furio. Yeah, Furio would be pretty good too. Yeah, those are like now, George. You're dropping some names that I'm with. I am not drawing the art, Linda, or L. I'm sorry, I think your name's Linda. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I have actually a woman. I don't want to introduce her just yet, but I will in the near future. Super, super talented lady, and she's been doing all the artwork for the book. It's just better than what I could have done if I did it myself, and so that's what you're seeing. And so, yeah, definitely sign up for that mailing list, and I will be back with a new video on YouTube tomorrow, as well as a new video on Facebook. Thank you for watching, everybody. I love hanging out here on these farm meetings. I will be back again on the first Wednesday of June. And like I said, I might even try to do that one from the barn, because the barn will be done by then. And so we'll see that. But thanks for watching, everybody, and have a great night.